What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Halving Report podcast with myself, your host, Brad Mines. The price of Bitcoin is approximately 27.6 thousand US dollars, and there's about 1 year left until the next Bitcoin halving. Today, we dive back into the world of the Richard Heart ecosystem. HEX has been one of the most controversial tokens in the industry since its inception, and despite the controversy, HEX has found itself in the top 10 crypto market caps for a while now, and a vibrant community that just won't go away. In the very near future, Richard Heart will be adding a few more tools into the ecosystem for its players. Today, we interview Wescott Crypto. Wescott is a self-described Richard Heart and HEX maxi and has a great passion for cryptocurrency. This conversation was bound to be interesting, to say the least. So without further ado, everybody welcome Wescott Crypto to the show.
What's up, man? I'm here.
Welcome to the Halving Report podcast, man.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. So like I was saying in the pre-roll, came across your profile from a Richard Heart thread. Thought what you were saying was interesting. I like to pay attention to HEX. I mean, it's gotten the attention of a lot of investors and a lot of people in the ecosystem, man. So it's hard to ignore. It's 10th in market cap at like $10 billion. Yeah, man. So it's hard not to pay attention to it. Like I mostly focused here on Bitcoin, but definitely want to hear what your thoughts about HEX, PulseX, PulseChain.
To me, man, honestly, like this is your second shot at Bitcoin. Not financial advice, but Richard Heart specifically made HEX to be a better Bitcoin, and on top of that, he's adding a blockchain, which is PulseChain, and then he's adding a DEX like Uniswap. So that's PulseX. So to me, like this is your shot to get in early on something that could potentially be the next Bitcoin. I know that's a big shoes to fill, but
what do you say to the obvious response to that, in which we've heard this claim before. We've heard the next Bitcoiners that have been in for a few years often will say Bitcoin is the next Bitcoin.
Right. I mean, well, to be honest, man, all it took for me was watching a couple interviews with Richard Heart. Like you watch maybe the one with Link Up TV. There's with Peter McCormick. When he argues with people, he always comes out on top. And it gets to the point where whoever he's debating starts to take personal digs at him. And to me, when someone's taking personal digs at somebody, that's a loss. So if you just everyone listening right now, if you Google Richard Heart and watch his interviews, if you're not sold by what he's talking about, I don't know, maybe you just won't get it. You know what I mean? But everything I hear from him, man, I mean, people think he's a scammer, but I can see through the BS, man. I can see through it.
Definitely not wrong when it comes to Richard Heart and his persuasiveness. I mean, I've seen his videos. I've seen the time when I think it was Peter McCormick appeared on his podcast out of nowhere, and they went at it like pretty aggressively. And he's super technical. And he's just very eloquent in explaining how things work. It's hard to deny that he's an extremely persuasive, probably one of the more interesting people in crypto right now. So I look into his background. His name's not really Richard Heart. He's known for selling, I don't know, questionable nutritional products, but nothing that's really like stood out to say this guy's really bad.
The guy was trying to make money, you know what I mean? You do what you got to do, and we all have had our stints where we sell things. I used to work for a warranty company. I'd sell warranties to people that I don't know if it was the best situation for their cars or whatever, but hey, I had to make a living somehow. But hey, Richard Heart, to me, like, I mean, he's donated 27 million to the Sens Foundation for longevity. Like the guy's a good dude, and the fact that he changed his name is just like any celebrity, like like Jamie Foxx or something. That's not his real name. All of these celebrities have like a stage name, and I guess to him, like Heart was important, so he threw the Heart instead of the Schuler. I mean, even me, Wescott Crypto. I go by Wescott Crypto. That's not my real name, you know what I mean? But so to me, it's not a factor. And when you listen to the guy, he's just different. You just hear, like, you could, again, it's not going to be for everybody. Most people would think he's a scammer off the bat, But to me, it's like, man, he made so much money in his early life. He's already been retired. He's already been a millionaire. I don't think he's really trying to rob us from anything. And if he was, he would have disappeared a long time ago. You know, the fact that he's still here, still streaming with us, still posting things, still trying to get PulseChain out, that's a sign to me that this guy's here to stay.
So a couple things, man, a couple things there on what you just said. And, firstly, Richard Hart, sweet name to choose. Secondly, in
Yes.
Canada here, it's $300 to change your name, and it's very little resistance.
Nice.
So
nice. Good to know.
Yeah, like I don't think that's a big deal at all.
Right.
And then, yeah, if you know what, like if it was a scam, it would probably be that would be made clear now. And he's still around, he's still being public, he's still speaking on Twitter. Hasn't been arrested yet, hasn't been thrown in jail. And
he was just in America, maybe 4 months ago. He was just in Miami, and there was people like Eric Wall talking about, yo, you'll never come back to America because you'll be arrested as soon as you land. And he was just here 3 months ago. Like, the guy's not a scammer. I don't know what people are thinking. Like, he's proved many times that he's legit. You know what I'm saying? And again, if you don't get it, you don't get it. It's not for everybody. But I'm not missing out on any of his projects, man. For sure.
Okay, so what can you tell me the difference then? Like, I know you briefly explained it when we first started on the podcast here, but so you said PulseX going to be like a Uniswap, and PulseChain's going to be an Ethereum fork, or what are the differences there?
So with HEX, you're getting a new Bitcoin. You're getting the store of value per se. And then with PulseChain, that's going to be a blockchain. So that's basically going to be the Ethereum to HEX, right? So as if like the Ethereum is to BTC. So with PulseX, you're getting a DEX, a decentralized exchange. That's going to be basically the Uniswap of PulseChain. So he's basically making this vertical, you can't, it's a vertical ecosystem where you get everything you want and need in one spot. And he's honestly, another thing he's launching is a wallet. So yeah, we got MetaMask now, but with PulseChain, HEX, PulseX, you're going to get a Richard Hart wallet. So again, it's vertical. Like, everything is in one ecosystem. His whole thing is he doesn't want people to get wrecked. So we have a big community on Twitter, I'm sure you know, right? And his biggest thing is he hates when guys like us, like, we build a following and then we start shilling some other coin or shilling some other network or ecosystem. And usually a lot of times people get scammed, people lose money, and he'll unfollow you. He won't support you because his main goal is to make sure no one gets scammed. Like, the dude, I'm telling you, he's a good dude. He's brilliant. And he's really here to represent us and to support us and to make sure nobody loses out. I don't know what it's taken so long for everyone to adopt his ecosystem. Like, again, you either see it or you don't. I see it.
Would you say a lot of people in the HEX ecosystem are kind of all in, or is this sort of like a moon bag that they have on the side?
All in, bro. Anybody involved in Richard? I mean, you got a few bad apples that are like, they're kind of like skeptical or whatever. They just got in or whatever. But he's already made a ton of millionaires, like thousands of millionaires with HEX alone. And a lot of us invested or who sacrificed for PulseChain and PulseX, we plan on being millionaires too. So if he succeeds with that as well, man, I mean, dude, the gatekeeping is going to disappear in a matter of time, like overnight, pretty much. You got guys like BitBoy Crypto who are starting to embrace him now. BitBoy's adding HEX to his portfolio. Ivan on Tech is a big supporter of PulseChain and PulseX and the Richard Hart ecosystem. So I think the tide is turning, and we're all going to see it in like the next few months or so.
Well, it certainly seems like we need something, because Ethereum fees seem absolutely out of control and preventing any regular people from using it. So is that going to fix our problem?
Oh, for sure, bro. Like, I tried to make a swap today on Ethereum, $82 just to make a swap, bro. Like, yeah. So, you can imagine on PulseChain, you're talking about like tenths of a penny to make a swap. If you have one PulseChain token, that'll get you through the year. You know what I'm saying? Like with swaps, like you don't need that much to make swaps. Ethereum, I don't know what Vitalik's doing. He's not addressing the problem. And like Richard Hart says, it's like if McDonald's is crowded, you just build another one. You don't build a bigger one, you build another one. And that's what PulseChain is. He's basically building another McDonald's, another ecosystem where we can do the same things that we want to do, but for a lot less money. We're not paying as much to make transactions. So yeah,
When
man.
did you first get interested in the Richard Hart ecosystem?
Probably close to 2 years ago. I was the typical crypto guy jumping in. I heard about Bitcoin, I heard about Ethereum. I bought it at one point back when Ethereum was like $250. I ended up selling it because I didn't really believe in crypto at the time. And yeah, I sold it in like a month. I didn't even, whatever. But later on, when Shiba Inu started taking through the roof, I got back into crypto. And that was the time where I was getting involved in a bunch of degen projects, man. Like because I was following my cousin's lead. He didn't really know what he was doing. So I was investing in protocols like Drip and whatnot, which were basically rug pulls, man. Like, it ran up to 150 and then now it's sitting at like maybe 30 cents, probably not going back up. And I just remember one of the guys in the ecosystem said, well, who cares if Drip doesn't go back up? Because I'm already rich off of HEX. And that's when the light bulb went off in my head. And I'm like, okay, well, what the hell is HEX? Let me check this out. So I'm Googling HEX and I find out Richard Hart's the founder. And that's why I started watching the interviews. And I'm like, this is where I need to be. The community's huge on Twitter. So I'm like, man, I could fit right in with these guys. So yeah, man.
So, I mean, I know you said you were following somebody else. Was Richard Hart kind of like the first big figure in the space that you kind of really started following, or was there other?
Yeah, it was Richard Hart. I mean, I've heard of guys like CZ, Vitalik, or whatnot, but for me, I was looking for somebody like a Steve Jobs, like a Jeff Bezos, like a Bill Gates, that American founder, right? And you get that in Richard Hart, and he's the American founder in crypto. To me, that's doing well, and I see Hex, PulseChain, PulseX as like the Apple of crypto. So I said, you know what, this is where I'm going to park my money, and I'm not going to look. I'm going to have tunnel vision. I'm not looking anywhere else, and we'll see where it goes. Hopefully, it's going to go to the moon. We'll see.
What do you think might be the biggest challenges for PulseX, PulseChain, and Hex moving forward in the future?
That's a good question. Biggest challenges? Well, getting it out, period, man. It's been over 2 years we've been waiting for this thing. So that's a big challenge. But from hearing the guys in the community, it could launch any day now at this point. He just got testnet V4 out last night, actually. And he told us that would be the last testnet. So, this thing could launch soon. And another challenge I would say is it's almost like he's losing the hype. When he first announced it, everyone was hyped up, everyone was excited, and now it's getting to the point where people are like, well, hey man, Ethereum 2.0 already came out. We also had Ethereum POW come out, and that didn't do so well, and that was also a fork, and everyone got copies of their coins. So but the thing with Richard Hart is like this PulseChain ecosystem, it's different because not only is you're going to get a copy of all your coins on PulseChain, but he's actually providing the value and liquidity early on with the AMN fixer bot. So that it's going to be a lot different than Ethereum POW. You know what I'm saying? So
But what do you mean by providing liquidity?
like it's basically when you get your copy, there's going to be value there because, for example, like the wallet for PulseChain holds the most DAI, the DAI token. So you're going to get value in DAI, you're going to get value in HEX, you're going to get value in PulseChain. I mean, people sacrifice $1 billion for PulseChain. They sacrifice $1 billion for PulseX. There's going to be a ton of money over there. And there's also 176 projects, I believe, that are already ready to launch on PulseChain, and it's not even out yet. So it's man, no one's seen anything like this before.
And the sacrifice, is that essentially a purchasing of the token?
Yes. Well, if you sacrifice, you are going to be allocated tokens for sure. I sacrificed. I missed out on the PulseChain sacrifice, but I got in on PulseX. But if you didn't get in on those, you're just gonna have to wait till it launches to actually get tokens. But what people are doing is they're building their hex bags now because they're going to get a copy. And obviously when it launches, they're going to swap, some people are going to swap their hex for PulseChain or PulseX, to get in as early as possible.
What's going to happen with the HEX, the original HEX on the Ethereum network?
Oh
Are
man.
folks going to still be buying that and holding that? Is it still going to go up in value, or are you essentially kind of forced to go over to the Pulse chain?
Yeah, initially it's going to dump, but the reason why, it's not going to dump to zero clearly because it's just too many people are invested in it, and a lot of people are staked out for 15 years, right? So it's going to have a dump, but the whales are going to hold on to that Ethereum hex because Ethereum is proven, like Ethereum, they trust Ethereum. PulseChain still needs to be proven before people fully adopt everything over on that side. A lot of us new guys are going to just go straight PulseChain and not look back to Ethereum, but a lot of the whales that are already invested in hex on Ethereum are going to stay over there and play games over there. It's going to be like the Lamborghini, and then like the PulseChain side is going to be more like, the Range Rover type of side. So yeah.
Cool, bro. So all sounds very exciting. So, I know the launch has been delayed a couple of times. There's a test 4 now out, and what are your expectations on launch date?
I think for me, he's delaying it. To me personally, I think he's just timing the market, and he wants to get this thing out at the right time so that the price chart just goes straight up. He doesn't admit to that, obviously, for like, reasons regarding like the SEC and stuff like that. But we all know, like, this guy he's timing the market, and when this thing launches, man, he's trying to make it so that he has the most glorious price chart in all of crypto. So when people see that thing going up and to the right, they just FOMO in, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, the guy is very calculated. While the rest of us are playing chess, he's playing 4D chess. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, just I'm telling you guys, do your research on Richard Hart. He's a different cat for sure.
Do you think there may be any regulatory challenges for Richard Hart?
Oh man, that's a good question. I look at there may be regulatory challenges for all of crypto at this point, so you never really know for sure. It's something, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to miss out. I'm not gonna, like, basically fud myself out of 100x or 1000x. You know what I'm saying? Because the US, the SEC may get involved and do like what they're doing to XRP. Look, man, again, not financial advice, but I'm trying to get rich before all that stuff comes into play. And I think this is a big opportunity to make that happen. And I just don't want to miss out.
What advice can you give to new people that want to get into Hex and Pulse?
The best advice I'd say is to get involved in the community. Check us out on Twitter, put in the Hex hashtag, and watch videos, like just YouTube Hex, YouTube PulseChain, YouTube PulseX. Look for guys like Johnny Chaos, Hexologist, K4K Crypto. Like, another thing about our community, we got some of the smartest guys. Like, these guys just I'm just like a spokesman. I do a lot of funny stuff, parodies, music and whatnot, entertainment, but we got a lot of brainiacs in the community that they'll really open your mind up to the possibilities of PulseChain, PulseX, Hex, the Richard Hart ecosystem. But yeah, just get involved. Start Googling, start YouTubing, listen to a few of his interviews from recent and from back in the day. And I promise you, like, you'll be amazed by the stuff this guy he has in his head. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, like some big figures in the space are starting to recognize him. I did see him on the BitBoy channel. Is Richard Hart still Gucci'd up from head to toe, or
not at all, man?
No?
I mean, I wish he was, because I love the outrage marketing. He basically told us years ago that he was going to do this sort of stage where he acts out a character, like he's gonna buy Gucci, Louis, just to get eyes on him. You know what I'm saying? And not just eyes, but actually big players, like, like the guys who buy Rolexes constantly, the guys who are, chartering yachts and private jets. And it was basically his plan to get a lot of rich people's eyes on him and involved. And he 3x'd his followers in one bear market. Like 2 years ago, he had 100,000 followers on Twitter. Now he's sitting at over 300,000. So he accomplished his mission. And as of right now, he stopped all that. He's not flexing anymore. No more Gucci, no more Louis. He's been real humble. He's showing pictures of his childhood and stuff like that. So the guy, again, he's playing 4D chess. He's literally telling us all his moves and he's executing them. Just check him out, guys. He's a special dude, very different. We never seen nothing like this before.
Aren't you the dude in one of his childhood pictures there?
Yo, man, I was BSing, man.
Yeah, I figured that. I was thinking, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, is that really him? And then I thought, I'm like, wait a second,
right?
Richard Hart looks a little bit older
like
than this guy.
Yeah. It looks like it, but nah, man. I wish I haven't met him yet, but I do plan on meeting him. He's a good dude. He's reached out to me before, and yeah, man, he's an awesome dude, and I plan on meeting him at some point. I don't know where he's at, but who knows, man? Maybe we'll meet up somewhere.
Yeah, man, we'll hit him up on a blockchain conference around the world someday. So you're into the content creation. What's your most memorable experience since you've been in the crypto and crypto content creation?
Oh man, like I've been public in crypto Twitter and crypto YouTube probably for like a month, and I basically put out parodies to songs, right? Like Backstreet Boys, I Want It That Way. I'm working on a Britney Spears parody, and the people love it, man. Like it's been going viral. Like a few of my videos already had 100,000 views on Twitter, and Ivan on Tech retweeted one. Richard retweets a few of them every now and then, and that's I saw the community. I love the community. I've been behind the scenes for like 2 years, and I said I want to somehow provide content and make this thing go viral and put it on the map. So I use some of my skills from back in the day and just basically put it on Front Street, and it's been doing well. so
yeah. Is that's pretty HEX focused then?
Oh yeah. Everything I put out is based on HEX. I got a parody coming out basically telling people to vote for Donald Trump, but I slip in some HEX stuff content in that as well, and it'll launch in maybe a few days or so. And I also got another NSYNC song coming out with one of the guys in the community. We're talking about HEX, PulseChain, PulseX. So we're just trying to get people, bring adoption to what we're doing, you know what I'm saying, and crypto as a whole. So
were you like a backup dancer in your previous life or something? You got all these songs and mixes going on?
Man, I wanted to be a rapper, bro. Like from like the age of 15 on, I was like doing videos, I was doing parodies. I ended up moving to LA. I was rapping out there. I almost signed to Nick Cannon. He had me on the radio. He put my song in a movie. I ended up messing up the paperwork. I signed some stuff that I shouldn't have signed, and I didn't get any credit. I didn't get any I'm not getting residuals from it. But yeah, one of my songs is in a movie called School Dance with Nick Cannon, Kevin Hart, Cat Williams, superstars in comedy. And so I've always done music, and I'm just getting involved in crypto now. So I figured, how can I bring value to the community? What can I do? And I figured I just do what I always did, which was rap, sing, edit videos, that type of thing. So
that's a pretty big deal, man. Your song's in a movie.
Yeah,
that's huge, man.
It's called School Dance. Like again, Kevin Hart's in it, Cat Williams, Mike Epps, bunch of funny comedians. And there's a scene where they're in like their bedroom, and like you hear our song playing on the radio in the background. So yeah, if you guys want to check it out, check it out.
Yeah, bro. That's a pretty big claim to fame right there, bro. Yeah, so cheers, man.
Thank you.
I'm gonna open it up for you, man. If you have any final words or words of wisdom for myself, my listeners. If not, man, let us know where we can follow you and learn more.
Yeah, as far as words of wisdom goes, I'd say, guys, listen, I used to play a lot of video games growing up, Diablo, World of Warcraft, that type of thing, NBA 2K, like whatever. Like I used to play games, Modern Warfare, whatnot. And a lot of my friends would play on the hardest difficulty. So I'd always tell them, like, why do you want to play on hard? And they're like, yo, because it's more of a challenge. And I'm like, change the difficulty, man. Play on easy. Like, we're not trying to be working until we're 67 years old. Like, we want to retire now. Bunch of guys in the HEX community are already retired at 25. Change the difficulty. Play on easy. It doesn't have to be that hard. Screw the challenge. Let's win the game. That's the whole point of this. So, guys, you got one opportunity, take a chance and let's win. You know, we don't gotta extend this thing. We want to get on to the next game. So beat this one, let's move on to the next one. And as far as like shilling my stuff, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Wescott Crypto, everywhere. You could even Google it now and my videos will come up. YouTube. So yeah. Appreciate
That's it, man. Yeah, no, Wescott Crypto, you pop right up, man. I'm aiming for when you type in halving, you get Halving Report, man. I got a long ways to go though.
Nice, man. Hey, man. Thanks for having me on, bro. This is awesome. This is great.
Hey, you. Thanks for listening to the Halving Report podcast. Check out our show notes below, like the episode, and share it with a friend. Be sure to go to halvingreport.com where you can get a $30 discount on the BitFi device. BitFi is our official hardware wallet partnership of the show. Use our coupon code from our website at halvingreport.com/BitFi. And if you'd like to get into Bitcoin, purchase your first cryptocurrency for the first time, you can go to bitfi.ca/halving.